Here are the 5 best brand guideline examples to give you some inspiration.
I've also included 3 brand guideline templates, so stick around to the end. So starting at number 5, we have the John Knox Christian School brand guidelines. So this has a very simple Swiss style, and I like how the grid system has been used throughout the brand guidelines, especially when it comes to using the footnotes at the top half of the page. You can also see there's a lot of white space as well, so it's very spacious, it's not cluttered at all, and it's very easy to follow. Not only is it easy to follow, but they have all sorts of sections, especially one specifically for the logo clear space and also logo alternatives. And especially when it comes to the color section, it lays it out very clearly, showing the color hierarchy as well as the color tints. You can also get some inspiration for how to lay out the type when it comes to headlines and body and text headers. And right towards the end, of course, we have our application section, which just shows us mockups and the logo being used on websites, on stationery, and any other form of media. Now at number 2, we have the Snapchat brand guidelines. So this again is very simple and very easy to follow. Not only that, but it's actually not too long. There's only a few pages, but this is some good inspiration, especially when you're working with a brand with a condensed font. So you can see how simple the brand guidelines is, as well as just the use of color. Of course, Snapchat's main brand color is yellow, but you can see how it's not just used everywhere. It's mainly black and white, and yellow is still the primary color. And as I said, this brand guidelines is very short and very digestible. And of course, if you was to go with a style like this, you can just add more application pages. And at number 3, we have the TripAdvisor brand guidelines. The reason why this is in my top 3 as one of my favorites is because not only is it very simple to follow, but you can also start to see the brand coming through within the guidelines, and mainly through the use of the typography. So TripAdvisor has a very bold and simple font, but it's very eye-catching. So of course, using it throughout the brand guidelines and not adding so much graphics just makes it feel cohesive along with the brand. This brand guidelines also has many pages, especially when it comes to partnership lockups, which is very important, and not every brand guideline has this, so this is definitely a good example to use. And they've included a ton of different colors, so if your brand has a wide color palette, then TripAdvisor brand guideline is definitely a good inspiration. And at number 2 is the Discord brand guidelines. So I would say this is similar in a way to the Snapchat brand guidelines and also the TripAdvisor brand guidelines, but this inspiration is definitely useful if your brand is using a color palette that is very saturated. So you can see it's like a bright purple used throughout the brand guidelines, but it's not overwhelming. And you can see how they've used it very well along with white. And not only that, but with other colors as well, such as yellow and pink, it still works and it's not overwhelming. And there's a lot of white space, so you can really see the font coming together. But this is definitely a good example if your brand is something that has a very bold, eye-catching font, and especially if you have colors that are very bright or very saturated, just like this Discord example, this style of brand guidelines is a good approach. And this brand guidelines, you can see there is many different sections, such as logo placement and also tagline placement, not just for the logo, but for on other graphics. I would also say Discord has the best example when it comes to logo usage, because it's just very clear and it just gives you different examples on different forms of media. And in terms of usage, it also gives you in-depth examples of how to use the logo when it comes to their brand graphics, so how to use it and how not to use it, which the previous examples didn't have. So Discord is, although it's a long document, it is very thorough. And at number 1, we have the Bolt brand guidelines. This by far is my favorite, not only because the brand looks cool, but it's also because of how simple the brand guidelines is, and it's just easy to follow with the grid system that they've used. So here you can see they have a black bar on the left, which is almost like a navigation, and just makes everything so easy and clear to know what page you're on in terms of what section you're currently looking at. Not only is it very clear, you can see how their brand elements have really been applied to the brand guidelines, and what I like about it as well is only adding it to the cover pages, so it's keeping the rest of the brand guidelines very clear and simple, and can easily explain the brand and not get confused with any other elements. What Bolt do very well with this brand guidelines is the logo usage section. So it's very simply laid out and it's so easy to follow and it's very clear. You can see they had a clear space page above and they also have a logo usage page, and it's just easy to read and easy to follow and easy to understand. So that's very good. Now, when it comes to colors, brand guidelines can get very complicated, but Bolt have nailed this brand guidelines. It's so easy and simple to follow. You can see there are a few saturated colors, but how they've laid it out with just the spacing in between each color and adding the color codes above just makes it so clean, and you're still not yet confused, which is very good. And they've also separated the normal colors from the gradient colors, which is very important again, so there's just no confusion. And gradients are a bit more complicated, so having some form of separation really helps. I've created brand guideline templates for you to download for free. They include sections for you to add all 6 important elements for the brand. There's also different themes to match the brand you've created. The link is in the description.